Hi, I'm Willie. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. What we're going to talk about today is jumbo frames, and I'm going to try to explain this in an analogy and see if it makes sense. The short and long of it is jumbo frames, when you look at an Ethernet network, our standard MTU for the data link layer for frames is 1500 bytes. Jumbo frames are around 9,000 bytes. Every device from end to end has to support that 9,000 bytes for the jumbo frames to work properly. So think of your house as a series of conveyor belts from room to room. And you want to move stuff in one room, your data, you want to move it to another room. You've got a 1 gig conveyor belt that goes to each room. You have a standard size box that you've been using, and you load it with your stuff and you send it to another room. It fits through the doorway. There's enough room in the room to receive the box. You're good. But you want to send more stuff faster. So what can you do? You could use a bigger box. So you get a bigger box, jumbo frame. You put the stuff in it, you put it on the conveyor belt. It goes to the conveyor belt, gets to the room, and you've moved more information on the conveyor belt to that other room, or you move more stuff. Things have to work together though to make that possible. So each doorway that has that conveyor belt has to be able to accept the larger box. If it doesn't work. So if the box can't fit through the doorway, it doesn't work. So while you can enable jumbo frames from the device at the end, a computer, server, NAS, for it to work properly, every device has to be able to accept the larger frame. If not, you can run into some issues. It will fall back to a different MTU or a different box size. So while you can be more efficient and use bigger boxes, everything has to support it. Where your jumbo frames are really going to shine is on a 10 gig, 25, 40 gig network, and where you're moving large data sets from one place to another. The other thing that's going to come into play is, even though you may be able to, let's say that you've got 1 gig, so you've got a smaller conveyor belt, and you say, okay, I'm going to put in a larger conveyor belt, 10 gig, to accommodate these boxes, these bigger boxes, so I can send more data, more stuff to each room. That's cool. You got your bigger box. It goes to go through the doorway, but the doorway on the other side isn't big enough for the box. That's an issue, right? So every device has to be configured or be able to accept the larger box or the larger frame. If it can't, then you've got issues. So let's say, all right, I've configured the network. I've upgraded it to 10 gig. Everything is negotiated at 10 gig, so we've got a larger conveyor belt. My bigger boxes are now going to fit through the doorway. Send more data, more stuff to each room. That's great. But now you still have to worry about, can the server, can the device, does it have the resources that it actually needs to be able to unpack that stuff efficiently and do it at that more stuff at that higher speed. So if you have a server or a NAS that doesn't have enough memory, doesn't have a good CPU, that the disks are slow, it is not going to matter really how much stuff you can send to it at one time if it's not able to then efficiently offload that. So you can see there's a lot of things that can affect whether jumbo frames are going to give you that performance. And jumbo frames really shine in moving large data sets, large amounts of data, not necessarily, 150K Word doc. That's going to go quick on a 1 gig network unless things are just not good. If your network is not healthy from the network and then your end devices are old and don't have good throughput and things like that, you're going to have issues anyway. But when you start sending those large data sets, you will really know if your end devices can can move that data, that stuff efficiently. So it has to be end to end. And even though you've enabled it, if you've got older devices that are not necessarily working as efficiently as possible because we got old hardware, or you've got a lot going on with them, resources are being used for more than just moving those data sets over, you're going to see issues too. So while we are a proponent of jumbo frames, especially when we're looking at moving large amounts of data over the network, things have to be configured properly. And the hardware at the ends has to be efficient as well and have the resources available to deal with moving those large amounts of data. So I hope that analogy kind of helped. I hope it didn't muddy the water. I wasn't trying to get too technical into the weeds on that, but if you think my analogy missed something, let everybody know down below what we could add to that analogy to maybe, if there's still any questions, kind of bring it full circle. So yes, we're team jumbo frames, but just know, just because you turn jumbo frames on doesn't mean you're going to notice or be able to sense meaningful, faster data movement. There's a lot of pieces that end to end that have to come into place. So let me know if that makes sense down below. If we need to add anything to it, also add that down below. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, and share. Follow me on Twitter and TikTok. Those links are down below, along with affiliate links, a Patreon link. And if you need IT consulting, if you need to get your network tuned up, you need it to be more efficient, you need it to be more secure, faster, whatever words you want to use to describe it, reach out at williehow.com. Head on over there. There's a contact form on the front page. Fill that out and someone will be in touch with you as soon as possible. And if you need other IT needs, voice over IP, security, networking, storage, all those things, reach out. If we can't help you, we'll get you to a vendor who can. And we've had that happen. We just passed on a large construction project for a golf course. We reached out, got someone who could manage that project for the customer, and I hope things are going well there. I haven't heard yet. But if you want to talk about this or other technology topics, head on over to community.williehow.com and join the conversation. Once again, I'm Willie. I want to thank you for being here, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.